The thumbnail probably gives this away a little bit, but let's talk about why it's interesting that Tulsi Gabbard attacked Kamala Harris on the stage at the DNC debates.
Oh, well, people need to be awake and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against.
In case you didn't see it, there was an incident at the debates this past week. Let's watch a teeny bit of it. Tulsi was really prepared for this. I want you to watch this.
Congresswoman Gabbard, you took issue with Senator Harris confronting Vice President Biden at the last debate. You called it a, quote, false accusation that Joe Biden is a racist. What's your response?
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today.
Did you just see that? Down in her notes. She's looking down in her notes periodically. I'm going to point that out.
Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a
Look down at her notes.
prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record.
Man, Kamala looks like she wants to cry as she's doing this.
There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then
Looking at her notes, looking at her notes.
laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
Looking at her notes.
She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an
Looking at her notes. A lot of that.
innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Yeah, and it's funny, like all of this stuff kind of makes me, I'm starting to think, maybe I should be interested in Kamala Harris, because I actually like that at one point she was tough on crime. But the problem is that it was in fashion. It's no longer in fashion. Let's just finish up.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response?
And I guess that was actually it. Let's just hop over here. And look at this. This is Emily's list. Now, you know I like to talk about Emily's list. So, here is what I find interesting. Kamala Harris is with Emily's list. You see here. This is from when she ran in 2016. And then from when Tulsi ran the first time in 2012, we have right here, they had a different logo and everything, but this is the Emily's list where she's listed. You see the Wayback Machine, Emily's list, what candidates all, and down here, Tulsi Gabbard. See, this is her own page, and then this is the Senate page from 2016, right before the election, and you see she was right up on top. So yeah, I find it a little interesting that they're with the same political action committee and one attacked the other. That makes me very suspicious that maybe the whole thing was staged. But yeah, that's actually really all I have for this. Just a reminder, Emily's list is about us. What they do. Victory start there. They put women into office who can make significant contributions to, and then they list some stuff. You see, systematically, nice little lefty word there. Oops. Strongest candidates. They support campaigns that can win. Study the electorate. They help turn out the vote. So they're more than actually just money. Like, they really, really, really support their candidates. I really, really, really wish. I've been trying to get something in my local area where I'm trying to contact other conservatives and trying to form something where maybe a group will be set up and then we'll pick out a candidate that we want to back, or pick out an election or something and somehow have the volunteers like ready to go like the left does. because it's a very effective technique for them, and that's why they're beating our ass, even though they have terrible policies. Terrible policies. They go out and recruit women to run for office. Every level across the country. We don't have any groups that do this. We have some groups that are supposed to be comparative versions on the right, and they just don't add up. They support their candidates start to finish. Races are tough. You know, they know how to win them. Like, they learn how to do things, and then they can use those tactics moving forward, whereas each of our candidates kind of have to fly by the pants on their own. They don't really have this kind of a support system. And everybody always says, well, not everybody, but I can tell you for sure, I've heard this from other people, but definitely Magdalene Rose talks about it a lot. And this is one area where I don't agree with her. She always says, oh, the GOP has to, support our candidates. We need to start forming our own little support groups for our candidates, like Emily's List, or get with the existing groups. And then we need to organize and then, be ready and support, have like this support system ready for our candidates. Basically similar to how they do. We need to do that. We don't do that. We let our candidates fly by the seat of their pants. So they have their candidates. And I actually heard something where when women are fundraising for Democrat races and they ask like big money people, these people will ask them, are you with Emily's List? And women who are Democrats and not with Emily's List, they normally have a very tough time getting donations for their races. And then I don't know about volunteers, but that's the thing, is if you're with like Emily's List or Justice Democrats or whatever, you get this like package of volunteers and money and influence that all come in and help you, and we don't have that. And I think Emily's List, but then the thing is, they always like to say, oh, no corporate PACs, but it's still a PAC. You sign on with these groups, and then once you're in a position, whether it's Congress or Senate or whatever, once they get you into position, there's an expectation that you do what they ask you to. And the way people drop like flies around the Clintons, I wouldn't even be surprised if there was potentially that kind of a threat if you don't do as they say. I mean, at the very least, there's a threat that they won't back you for your re-election, and I know they want that, but I wouldn't even be surprised if, like, they don't go along with these groups. They probably attack them. I mean, look at how they attack the right, and we don't even have any sort of, like, social contract with them, and yet they attack us for not doing as they say. So you can imagine if once you start to be in bed with a group like this, and their agenda is to have all 9 months, have the taxpayer pay for it, and, according to what the governor of Virginia said, maybe even the 4th trimester too, keep the baby comfortable, then decide if you want to, murder it. Alrighty, on that positive, charming note, thanks for stopping by my channel. I'll see you all next time.
Oh, well. People need to be awake, and they need to be awake, and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against the stuff. Oh, well. People need to be awake. People need to be awake, and they need to be aware. They need to stand up against this stuff. Oh, well.
And it's so politically engaged. And it's so politically engaged.